All right, guys, we're back with our sci-fi edition of the Screen Team. We've already reviewed Contact. We've already reviewed 2001, and we're going to finish things off with this episode with a brand new sci-fi film released by Netflix. It's called Cloverfield Paradox. And on the phone to help review this film is Jeff South. And Jeff, I'm curious, were you into the whole Cloverfield genre? Did you see the other two movies?
Yes, I did. I knew the moment I saw the very first Cloverfield trailer, what was it, 10 years ago, that I wanted to see that movie. And my son and I saw it in the theater, and then I watched 10 Cloverfield Lane when it came out on DVD. So I've seen both of those. And so when this was dropped, like literally out of nowhere on Super Bowl Sunday, I knew I stayed up after the Super Bowl. I normally would have gone to bed, but I stayed up after the game and watched it. So yeah, I'd seen them.
All right, so let's dive right into it. The Cloverfield Paradox. What were your initial thoughts when you first saw it?
Well, it's funny. I love monster movies. So Godzilla and Jaws and all my favorite movie, and so anything with a good, I just saw A Quiet Place, last month, and it's phenomenal. Alien, all that stuff. So I love all that stuff. So Cloverfield was a slam dunk for me, and I like 10 Cloverfield Lane for different reasons. So when I saw that this was dropping on Super Bowl Sunday, I was probably like millions of Americans. I was like, holy crap, we got a new one. And it came out of nowhere. So I was really excited to watch it. And as I was watching it, I was like, I'm liking it. And it was really cool. But I felt like this was the one where the next day I woke up and I was like, I don't know what I watched.
Okay.
So
what's
well, I'm sorry.
No.
Well, I liked it.
Okay.
But I think it's one of those movies where I would want to go back and watch it again with lowered expectations, because it had all the elements there that I would like in a good monster movie. But I could tell that this is a movie to me that's probably more an interesting study of marketing and advertising than it is the actual movie.
Right.
Because J.J. Abrams is pretty much a genius when it comes to marketing his movies. So he knows how to build up and get you ready, and he loves a good puzzle box. So, this is the one where the more I thought about it, the more I was like, okay, the Cloverfield stuff that's there felt very kind of tacked on. And after it was over and I thought about it and I slept on it, I came back the next day, I was like, I felt like the movie was a little bit of a letdown. So then I was like, okay, maybe that's me. Maybe that's not really the movie's fault, because the movie itself is a pretty straightforward, entertaining sci-fi. It's not great. It's not going to be a classic that's remembered, 100 years. We're not going to be talking about Cloverfield Paradox the way we talk about Sunset Boulevard or, Citizen Kane or even Alien.
Right. But
it's good for what it is. It's a good movie. It's got a good setup. There's a lot of cool sci-fi stuff in it. There's some really neat effects. There's a part where Chris O'Dowd's character gets fused into the ship,
right?
And all of that stuff is really. So there's a lot of cool stuff to it. But I think this is one that if you haven't seen it yet, you need, and you're really ramped up, I would say temper your expectations a little bit and go in and just let the movie be what it is. Because it's. I got caught up in the hype machine. You're watching the Super Bowl, and boom, they're dropping a Cloverfield movie right after the Super Bowl. Nobody saw it coming.
Yeah.
And as an advertising and marketing thing, that's a masterstroke. But so you go in all ramped up, and now I'm like, we're almost 3 months away from that, and I can't tell you too much about the movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So let me ask you, do you see studios and people making movies? Do you see this as more of a typical strategy of marketing a movie? Like, hey, guess what? Today's the day it comes out without, promoting it for 6 months. Or do you think Do you think we're still going to get that typical kind of movie run where you see a trailer, you build it up, and you wait 3 months? Or do you see a little bit of both?
I think it's still going to be trailers.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think. But I also think, depending upon who it is, because James Gunn, who made the Guardians of the Galaxy movies,
Right.
he posted a photo of him with Elizabeth Banks, and he put the hashtag on it. I think it was Super Secret Horror Project. So I went and I looked at his IMDb page, and the only thing he has coming out, that's even in pre-production is Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Right.
So it's possible that we could get to a place where some of these really big name folks who are doing genre work, like James Gunn or J.J. Abrams, something like that, they may not do it the way they did Cloverfield Paradox, but I could see them just sort of out of nowhere saying, oh, hey, there's a movie coming out in a month
Yeah.
that you didn't know we were making. I remember when Clint Eastwood did $1 Million Baby, there was no promotion behind $1 Million Baby. It was like, he woke up and he went, oh, yeah, by the way, I made a movie. And they started doing all this work, and everybody's like, where was this? Nobody was talking about this, and then it went on to win Best Picture.
Right.
So I think we might be more apt to see stuff like that than this, which was just literally, the day of.
Yeah, it was a crazy marketing scheme. I remember Paramount had the rights to the Cloverfield Paradox movie, and for some reason, I guess they didn't believe in it. They sold it to Netflix, and Netflix was, like you said, they dropped that trailer commercial during the Super Bowl and said, guess what? This movie's coming out now, which was just totally different and unbelievable, but it was also cool too, it
was a cool thing to watch. It was a cool thing to experience. I just kind of wanted the movie to be just a little bit more than it was.
Sure.
To warrant that. But I get why they do it, and it reminded me of movies in the 50s and 60s, and then television started taking off and nobody was going to the theater anymore because they could just stay home and watch TV. That's when they were coming out with, just like we have IMAX and 3D. They came out with 3D back then. They came out with much bigger screens and panoramic stuff and, gimmicks in the theaters and all that to get people to come and see movies and do something different to market the movies. And that's kind of what this reminded me of, was that whole gimmicky, it's a cool gimmick. I don't mean to slight it, but that's kind of what it reminded me of.
All right, speaking of marketing, let's do some marketing for you. If people want more information on your blogs or maybe your book, how do they get a hold of that, Jeff?
The best way to do that is to go to my website, which is itsjeffsouth.wixsite, which is WIXSITE.com/It's Jeff South. And there's, I got my blog there and some other cool stuff. A book I published, there's information there on how to order the book, and you can contact me through there, or I'm on Facebook too, so you can contact me through that.
And where can people buy the book Kilroy Was Here?
Yes, yeah. So my novel Kilroy Was Here, sci-fi comedy about two kids who try to stop a alien real estate developer from turning the Earth into a resort planet. A silly, goofy, funny thing that I spent a few years working on, and I got it published, and it was released last November. So you can get it on my website. You can order it through there. I'll sign it and ship it to you.
Good, man. I love it. Jeff, man, I appreciate you being on the show again, and we appreciate you, my friend.
Yeah, sure. Call me anytime. Love to chat.
All right, that's Jeff South. I'm Chris. We're part of the Screen Team. And remember, we want you to know before you go.